Doing everything I can with the medical staff to be able to get my body right, to be able to do that. And but yeah, I feel good, and just going day by day.
No coordinated social media blast. It's just a single door opening at a Nike studio and two figures walking in: Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. No entourage, no publicist, just presence. The silence said more than any announcement could. Something was happening. Something seismic. The kind of moment you don't prepare for because it was never supposed to happen. But when Caitlin Clark enters a room, the rules start to bend. And when Sophie Cunningham walks in with her, those rules get rewritten. Nike thought it was business as usual. Some marketing shoot, some promo shots, maybe a teaser for a new sneaker. Drop. But Caitlin Clark wasn't there to play along with the script. She was there to tear it up. Sophie wasn't an accessory to the shoot. She wasn't there to pose quietly in the background. She was at the center of something unprecedented. Clark made sure of it. No speeches, no branding talk. Just one golden box, gleaming and deliberate, resting on a velvet pedestal like a relic. Caitlin opened it, slowly, purposefully. Inside, a sneaker knot. Just any sneaker, but one bearing both her initials and Sophie's. Custom embroidery. Legacy. Stitching. A design that spoke louder than any commercial ever could. It wasn't just style, it was statement. This wasn't a gesture. It was a seismic shift. Behind the scenes, Nike had spent months preparing to make Caitlin Clark the singular face of their next era, the heir to a billion-dollar throne. But Clark wasn't interested in being a solo monarch. She had her own plan, her own agenda. She looked Nike's top brass in the eye and said the unthinkable. I didn't get here alone. I won't stay here alone. That wasn't branding language. It was a declaration of war on everything corporate sports marketing had ever been built on, and somehow Nike agreed. Because Caitlin Clark has that kind of pull. She doesn't negotiate, she commands. What unfolded in that studio wasn't a marketing rollout, it was a crowning. Not of one queen, but of two. For Sophie Cunningham, it was a moment that had been years in the making. She wasn't the loudest voice. She wasn't the league's headline machine. But she was dependable, tough, loyal. When Caitlin was taking elbows, trash talk, and cheap shots on the court, it wasn't Nike who had her back, it was Sophie. She took fines, she took heat, but she never flinched. She protected Caitlin not for the cameras, but because it was right, and Caitlin remembered so. When it came time to build a legacy, not just a sneaker line, Clark made her first move, not for herself. For Sophie. That golden box was a tribute. Thank you. A lightning rod. Within hours of the footage leaking online, shot by someone inside the studio and posted without approval, social media erupted. The video went viral. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, every feed lit up like wildfire. The sneaker sold out before Nike even posted the official ad. Listings spiked into the thousands. And fans didn't just want a shoe, they wanted in on the message. In on the movement. Because this wasn't just about a player getting her due. This was about rewriting how power is distributed in women's sports. Clark didn't need to share the spotlight. She chose to. She didn't need Sophie's name beside hers. She insisted on it. And in doing so, she dismantled every tradition that said greatness had to stand alone. Nike executives scrambled. This wasn't in the playbook. Signature lines are sacred, built around solo stars, iconic branding, and carefully controlled narratives. But Caitlin Clark made it clear, if you want her name, you take her vision, her terms. And that meant tearing down the solo star model and replacing it with something radically different, a platform. Clark wasn't just asking Nike to make room. She was demanding they build a room, one with more chairs, more stories, more voices, and Sophie was the first, a prototype, the spark. The box wasn't the end game, it was the opening bell. Nike folded faster than anyone expected. A fear, but awe. Because Caitlin Clark wasn't building a brand. She was architecting a dynasty. That golden box became more than a one-off tribute. It became a template. Nike greenlit something never seen before, the legacy line. Annual tradition. Every year, Clark would personally choose one underappreciated WNBA player. They'd get their own golden box. their own custom shoe, their own place in the sun. It wasn't charity, it was equity. Power shared, legacy extended. And every player in the league felt it. Locker rooms buzzed. Not with envy, but inspiration. Some cried. Others posted cryptic emojis, quiet acknowledgments of a shift they never thought they'd see. Angel Reese went live, visibly stunned. "She really did that," she whispered. There was no shade, just shock, gratitude, and maybe a little bit of hope. Because for the first time, the WNBA wasn't just following tradition, it was setting it from inside, not from above. Caitlin Clark wasn't operating like a rookie. She was moving like a mogul, a visionary. Not just the face of the league, but its beating heart. The sneaker market went berserk. Sophie's shoe hit record sales. For any non-star WNBA player in history, resellers couldn't keep up. Fans didn't even ask about specs. They just wanted to own a piece of the story, because they weren't buying rubber and leather. They were buying meaning, connection, purpose. And for Sophie Cunningham, it was more than vindication. It was resurrection. After years of flying under the radar, she was now front-page news. Not for drama, not for controversy, but for loyalty. For being the kind of player who shows up when the lights are off. The kind of teammate you want when the world gets loud, in a league too often. Divided by egos, Clark did the opposite. She built a bridge. She extended a hand. And in doing so, she exposed the shallowness of every brand deal that came before her. Because when the cameras rolled and Caitlin turned to Sophie and whispered, "This is ours," it wasn't just a moment, it was a mission statement. And Nike, seen the future now. It's not top-down, it's player-driven. Every year the golden box will drop. Every year fans will hold their breath. Who will Caitlin choose next? Who will be elevated from the shadows into the spotlight? And more importantly, what kind of culture is she cultivating with each choice? This isn't a gimmick. It's a reckoning. A redefinition of what leadership looks like in women's sports. Caitlin Clark didn't just take the bag. She shared. That's unheard of. That's revolutionary. And it's only just begun. So now fans aren't just watching games. They're watching history unfold. Waiting for the next golden box. The next name. The next coronation. Because when Caitlin Clark speaks, it's not about noise. It's about legacy. And legacy isn't just what you leave behind. It's who you bring with you along the way. So what do you think? Who should Caitlin pick next for the golden box? Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit that subscribe button, because this isn't just a sneaker story, it's a movement. And trust me, the next chapter is going to be even bigger.